Hello and welcome to Green Time. I'm Barb Chicario. I'm going to be the host for this episode. And before I introduce my guests, I'd like to take a little bit of time and view another segment from a film, Unnatural Selection. We'll be right back to discuss it.
Farming is kind of like an art form as well. I feel like I'm an artist when I'm out in my field, and you do things creatively, you innovate. It's not just growing food, it's enjoying the type of occupation. It's understanding the soil, understanding the wildlife, understanding the importance of protecting everything that you do. That's why we adopted as our motto for our farm, holistic stewardship for abundant life. The stewardship aspect is that you respect the rights of your fellow man, and how best to do that but provide your fellow man with some healthy food, not contaminated food, not something that is questionable. Our lawsuit by Saskatchewan organic farmers, of which we are approximately 1,000, predominantly the lawsuit is about compensation because of the contamination with GM canola. We have people in our group that have had crops contaminated, canola crops, in 1999, 2000, for example, and were not able to sell their crop because the laboratories detected GM genes, Roundup ready genes, or Liberty Link genes from the company Aventis at that time, present in the organic farmer's canola crop. We can no longer grow organic canola because there was an important enough quantity of GM canola, maybe 55–60% of all canola in Saskatchewan is genetically modified canola. What we have here is a plant of Roundup ready canola. This is one of Monsanto's canola, GM canola plants. It was grown by my neighbor in the field on the other side of this road. And because we are certified organic, we need a buffer zone between our neighbors and ourselves. This road and the grass area serves as a legitimate buffer zone. But with the wind, at harvest time, plants like this have blown over the road, and I have to demonstrate to my certification agency that I am taking all measures possible to make sure that all plants and seeds are removed from the field. And that's why I'm collecting this, I'm documenting it, I'm taking pictures of it, I'm taking video of it, and I let our lawyer know because this is going to be used as part of our lawsuit against Monsanto to demonstrate that we have had contamination since 1996 when they introduced Roundup ready canola in Saskatchewan. When it comes to the question of liability, who is responsible for having this contamination by GM canola, it is undoubtedly Monsanto. And one of the points that we will make with our lawsuit that is very important is that we are accusing Monsanto and Aventis, which is now Bayer, of being negligent. Very negligent because they did not tell farmers like my neighbor that if they use this patented GM canola, that there is a risk that it will contaminate neighboring fields. That was never explained to those farmers. And it's very interesting to note that in countries like England, large insurance companies are refusing to insure if GM crops are grown. And I think that is wonderful.
Wouldn't you like to learn how to be energy independent? Don't you want to be prepared if there was ever an earthquake in this country or a tornado and suddenly communication was knocked out? In addition to that, you didn't have electricity from the grid and other forms of power? Well, you can learn how to be energy independent. You can learn all different types of areas of renewable energy by becoming a member of Missouri Renewable Energy. As a member, you get to attend 2 free classes. You get discounts on solar power, wind power products, and much more. And you'll learn valuable skills that you could actually use in other countries in time of disaster, such as Haiti and others. For as little as $100 membership, $100 covers the whole year. You get that and much, much more. For further information, call now, 314-881-3213. That's 314-881-3213. And become a member of Missouri Renewable Energy and discover all the tremendous benefits that await those members. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 881-3213, and take the first step towards energy independence.
Welcome back to Green Time. I'm Barb Chicario, the host, and I'd like to introduce my guests. On my left is Digger with the Community Arts and Media Project, CAMP, and to his left is Don Fitz with the Gateway Green Alliance.
Great.
Welcome to Green Time.
Great to be here as guests.
We had to cut off at our last program about GMOs and the whole issue of patenting of GMOs, and we were talking about Roundup. And so I'd kind of like to revisit that, Digger, because I think it's very important. And maybe you could describe how Roundup fits in with Roundup Ready soybeans, for instance, and then problems with Roundup.
Right.
And what Roundup is.
Yeah, Roundup is an herbicide. It's the most widely sold herbicide in the world. It's been Monsanto's bread and butter. Roundup Ready crops, such as soy, as you said, it's made so that the soy plant will not be killed by the herbicide.
So they're resistant. They're Roundup
resistant.
Right.
So the farmers in the past would have to plant a field. Before they planted their, soy, they would spray the Roundup and kill all the, the weeds,
right.
and then plant. And then they couldn't spray. They couldn't spray after the plant started growing. Well, with Roundup Ready soy, they can spray Roundup as the soy plants are growing, killing the weeds.
Right.
So they, some farmers will tell you this is a great.
Yes, and I've heard that. I mean, the thing that's good about Roundup that I hear is that I've heard from farmers is that it's no-till, so they don't lose. There's no erosion of soil, and that there's no problem with Roundup. It's really not very. It's not toxic.
Well, see, that's the big lie.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, what they say, which is accurate, is that Roundup causes less biological damage than other.
Because of the,
right,
no.
And it's sort of like if another pesticide causes 50% of kids to have asthma, and Roundup only causes asthma in 20%, they say Roundup's better. Well, it's not better than not using any pesticide at all.
And have there been health concerns with Roundup?
Oh, absolutely. Of course, when it was introduced, Monsanto told everyone this is safe. It's biodegradable. It doesn't hurt non-target species.
Right.
And of course, now they found that it does. And there actually was a lawsuit in New York for false advertising against Monsanto by the state of New York for saying that it was biodegradable and safe. Roundup also, French scientists have found that Roundup disrupts a key point in cell division, the death or repair process. So what happens is it affects the affected cell is unable to discard or repair the cell. It replicates, and what's happening is this is an early stage of cancer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So Roundup is linked with cancer, but like I said, it's only a little bit less linked with cancer than other herbicides. So keep in mind that when you say herbicide, the side in it means kill.
Right.
It's
poison.
It's a poison. It's designed to kill plants, and anything which is designed to kill plants is very likely to damage the health of people.
We only have a couple minutes left, and I do not want to miss this point. I'd like to talk about the health concerns in general for GMOs. And Don, maybe you can state just briefly what a GMO is to remind us.
A GMO is a genetically modified organism, and that's when you manipulate the organism when it's first growing the seed by you put a foreign gene in it, or you alter the gene. You use the gene gun and you shoot this gene into it, or you alter it, and
so it's altering the plant's DNA.
It's altering the plant's DNA. And it does that in a way that you're not really sure what the result is, and so that's why it's accurate to talk about it as genetic modification.
So, are there health concerns with eating GMOs, these plants?
Absolutely. And as I explained in the last episode, because of a revolving door between Monsanto executives and lawyers and the FDA and the EPA, these people work for Monsanto and then they work for the FDA. And because of that, genetically modified foods were called substantially equivalent to conventional foods. But what has been ignored is that scientific evidence that genetically modified foods are dangerous. For example, there was the L-tryptophan incident. L-tryptophan is an amino acid. It was genetically engineered and was proven that people got sick and died taking this supplement.
Was it like a vitamin or something? It was
exactly.
A
Yeah, and it's amazing that still there'll be claims by the industry that nobody has ever died from eating genetically modified organisms. That's absolutely false. There are plenty of documented sicknesses and deaths directly attributable to GMO food.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to go to a break. We're going to view another segment of Unnatural Selection, and we'll be right back.